Vik Toreus here for United Colours Rukus Avenue Radio on Dash Radio. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. So now it is that time you've all been waiting for, our interview segment with our special guest this week. So, originally hailing from Houston, Texas, he is an incredible producer and DJ, one of the newer members of Major Lazer, of course, a group which needs no introduction, one of the biggest electronic world dance groups in the world. His production ranges from world, dancehall, reggaeton, biofunk, pop, so many different styles of genres. He has millions and millions of views and streams across all the platforms. Please welcome to United Colours, APE DRUMS. APE DRUMS, how are you?
Man, I'm good. Glad to be here.
Fantastic. So you're dialing in from Miami, right?
Yeah, currently in Miami.
Okay, cool. So let's get straight into it, man. Parties are coming back, clubs are opening, DJs and producers I know are getting their club records ready. I hear Vegas is fully open now, Miami's fully open. How are you feeling about all this?
It's been good, man. I mean, everybody's super excited about it, just to kind of get back to normal life, especially in Miami, man. Everyone knows Miami's a party city. We thrive on nightlife, and everybody's super excited about it. Ready to get stuff rolling again. Yeah. Get paid, do shows, DJ, do what we love, all that good stuff.
Awesome. When is your next show?
The next one, what do we have next? As far as Major Lazer, we don't have anything really until August. Yeah, we're supposed to go overseas in Europe and stuff. So hopefully, that stays to plan. As far as me, I think I'm chilling for the next couple months. But I mean, the thing is for me is like I get gigs like literally sometimes a week in advance, just like last minute, because I'm not really like focusing on the APE DRUMS stuff like bookings yet. But okay, they come as the weeks go by.
Okay, awesome. I'm sure your fans will be looking forward to seeing you perform. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, so I mean, let's talk about very quickly Major Lazer, of course. You're one of the new members. I believe you joined in 2019. Is that right? Or was it 2020?
2019.
2019. Okay, cool. And I mean, just tell us for our listeners, joining Major Lazer, was it just a natural progression? You were friends with them, and is that how it kind of all happened, or was there sort of a bit more structure to it? Was there like a bit of an interview process, or how does it work?
Well, it wasn't what people. I mean, I've known the guys for years, okay. Since like 2013 probably. So I've worked with them throughout the years, whether it's remixes, originals, production camps. Did shows with them across, in Europe. So, I've known the guys forever. And it was just kind of like they needed an extra member to tour with. And I said, oh, yeah, it's just, I'm down. Like, I don't think anybody else fits better, to be honest. And they thought the same. And then it was just easier. It was just easier just so, someone new doesn't have to catch up on everything. And it just worked out.
Yeah, I remember hearing you say that on a podcast once. Like you mentioned, it's pretty difficult to think of someone else who could fit that role. And I was actually thinking about that as well. And I was like, yeah, actually, you know what, APE DRUMS, it makes sense. So what is it like working with Diplo? I mean, from the interviews and content I've seen online, he seems like a really cool and chilled guy. Or is he really super focused and particular and pedantic about certain things?
No, he's a smart dude. He knows a lot about everything. Like no matter what it is, you can have a conversation about everything and he'll have his 2 cents input on it and he'll know about it. I'm definitely learning a lot, like traveling with him, working with him, just being around. Cool. But yeah, man, a man's a hustler, he's a workaholic. It's nonstop and it kind of, rubs off on you sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Workaholic is a good way to describe him. I mean, he's always doing something, releasing music, doing shows. It's non-stop with him, as I'm sure it will be for you as well. So in one of the interviews I read, I think you mentioned about taking things to the next level with Major Lazer, because I'd imagine being a member of a group like that, you need to bring your A plus game, because they're on such a global scale. So when you mean take things to the next level, would you kind of refer that to sort of your production or your DJ sets? So what do you mean when taking things to the next level?
Both. I want to definitely make our show as best as possible. I've gone to the Major Lazer shows for years. The last 7 years I've been to so many, and I kind of obviously I know what to expect and what to do for a Major Lazer show, because it's very choreographed, and I want to kind of basically just make it better and better as the years go by. Music's moving so fast, so I want to always update it with the newest songs. I want to make sure the crowd leaves our show saying, man, Major Lazer had one of the best shows. Like, they did everything, they played everything that I've liked, and that's really the goal. And as far as production, 100%. I want to obviously, keep Major Lazer, what Major Lazer has been the last 10, 12 years. I want to keep that vibe, but I also want to input a little bit of my vibe in it. I want to kind of go back to how Major Lazer started. I want to go back to the roots.
Okay.
I just kind of want to keep people interested, and you know what I mean? And I want to add something new to Major Lazer. I feel like that's my position, my position to, the position I'm in. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to very quickly talk about world music and global fusion. So much of what you said previously, it all ties into the Major Lazer shows and the music they're releasing. And I know the music you produce and make, it's so varied. You have inspirations from the Caribbean, Afrobeats, Latin music. Where does that all come from? Like, why do you enjoy mixing all those cultures together? Is it from your heritage or your background or the friends you hang around with or where you've traveled? Just talk to us a bit about that.
I don't know, man. I think it's just something I picked up when I was younger, because I grew up listening to a lot of like heavy metal, rock. I have a huge family and they all play guitar, listen to rock. So I was listening to all kinds of music at a young age. And honestly, I think it all ties in with I guess I was a dancer. I was, movement was my thing. Dancing was my thing. Growing up in middle school and high school, I was like the dancer in high school. That was my title. And I think that also helped with like song selection, because I would only like music that made you move, that made people dance. So also, I feel like that just obviously it ties in with world music. World music has the craziest rhythms. That's its base. That's its heart, is the rhythms, the drums, and it's meant to make people dance. You know what I mean? So I think that's where it comes from. And then that helped with song selection. And now, even still to this day, I don't want to make anything that doesn't make you move. I don't want to make anything that isn't going to rock like a party. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. Would you ever dance at a Major Lazer show, or is it just on the mic and behind the decks?
Yeah, man, my dancing days are over. We've talked about it. Like, maybe I'll go out there and do a little something, but man, it's just been so long that I don't want to I'll go out there and look foolish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what sort of rock music were you into? Because I'm quite a big rock fan as well. Growing up, what were you listening to?
Well, I mean, from what I heard when I was little, it was a lot of Led Zeppelin. It was a lot of Metallica. It was a lot of awesome. Van Halen. It was a lot of stuff like that. But the thing is with me is that I knew the songs. I never knew like what bands or what, who was singing it. But when I hear the song, I'm like, oh, I know this song. I know them word for word. I know the guitar riffs, but I won't know who the band is, just because when I was younger, I just heard it. I know the songs, but I was never into like, I need to know who sings this. It was just part of me growing up.
All those bands are some of my favorites, especially like System of Down, Metallica, and Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, all that. Back in the days, growing up in the 90s and noughties, So talking about your music now, so you've got a new record out, which I saw in your SoundCloud, called Too Much, which is a really cool track. We're going to play that next. And I love the production on it. I mean, I'm a music producer myself, so I'm always hearing what Major Lazer are doing and what you guys are doing. And I followed your music for a while now, and it's always so clean. The drum program is always excellent, and it's just of such a high quality. I wanted to ask, do you sort of mix and master the tracks yourself? Does that come with experience, or have you got like a team of engineers who work with you on this?
Yeah, so I taught myself everything that I know when it comes to production. And ever since then, I've always mixed and mastered my own music. Up until like my last few projects, I kind of like left mastering to the hands of actual engineers that probably do it better than me. But nowadays I just kind of get it mastered through whatever the label offers, and then I'll hear it. I'm like, oh, this sounds fine. This sounds good. Yeah. I kind of just leave it at that. But if sometimes even for Major Lazer, I'll mix and master stuff just because it sounds better coming out of my workstation, sometimes. Like
Yeah.
Diplo's always like, yo, Ape, mix this down because ours it sounds like crap, and I think yours will sound better through your whatever you have, and I'll do it. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I've mixed a few joints even off the last album, so it
Oh,
just
really?
depends. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome, awesome. I mean, mixing is so hard. It takes years and years of experience just to get your ears listening to the right frequencies and things like that. And Too Much, I'm assuming you probably did the mix down of that track because it sounds super, super clean. It's got that clean vocal hook, like you quite often hear in major Lazer songs and DJ Snake songs. So talk to us a bit about that record and how it came together, because to me, when I heard it, it sounds like someone wrote an R&B song and then you put it into like this cool world music pop kind of thing together.
So the guy singing 20th Century Man, he is like a young guy I think he lives in New York. I got in contact with him, one of my friends in LA. He sent me a couple of songs and I was like, who's this kid? Long story short, I linked up with him like on Instagram, and I was just like, yo, send me stuff. And he sent me that record. And it was, I think he just had some chords on it. He just had some chords. It was more of a hip hop R&B vibe.
Yeah.
So after I heard it, I was like, man, like, I got to try, I have to try to do like some kind of Afro beat dancehall kind of thing on there. So I did. And I was trying to come up with some dope chords. I couldn't. That's one thing that I lack. I'm not really, I know what's on key and what's off key. I know what's off beat. I'm born with that. That's my gift. But chords are really hard for me. I just kind of do it by ear. And so I had one of my friends from Paris. He's really good at playing keyboard and chords and stuff. I just like, yo, can you help me with this song? Give me like a couple chord progressions. Found one that we thought was best. I did my drums on there and yeah, I mixed it, and that's how the song came about. And I told 28th, I was like, yo, the hook is dope. It's very catchy. People will sing to it. Very gal, like hot summer gal tune. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't have any of those yet. So I was like, this is perfect. This would be dope for the summer. And if it just, by the time it was done, I don't think it needs anything else. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, it's definitely a summer tune. I'm gonna drop that at my DJ set this weekend. That's for sure. So, yeah, good job on that one. And
Man, thank you.
yeah, it's awesome. It's one of those tracks where, like, because I love the mix down on it. So when I produce music, that's the kind of track I'll drag into my project in Ableton as a reference track and just see, shit, how did you do that? How did you do that? And one of Major Lazer's other tracks, which was released last year from the Music is a Weapon album, Jadi Bhutti with Nuclear, who's one of the biggest producer DJs in India. That's probably one of my favorite records of 2020. We were playing that so much on our radio show. And again, it's another track which, I really like the production on, and I'm always loading into my project and as a reference and seeing how you guys did that. But as we are South Asian Fusion Station, I wanted to ask you very quickly, just before we get into the quick fire round, about South Asian music. So you mentioned Caribbean music and Afrobeats music. Do you get inspiration from South Asian music? I mean, I know you guys did a track with Nuclear, but do you see more on that side of things coming in the future, more artists like him to collaborate with or incorporating that style into your music?
Yeah, like I mean, I've tried, like, obviously I get like their drums are crazy, like Bhangra drums and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I always have go through my packs and use certain percussions from there. But I did actually a song like in 2014, 2015 with Gappy Ranks. It released on Mad Decent. See what, I don't remember the name. Oh, Overload. And we actually sampled like a Punjabi like song. Like, it was like everybody knows it. I forgot the name, but it actually, even still to this day, people are like tagging me in it. People love that record. So I try to basically fuse like a Punjabi sample with some dancehall, and then Gappy Ranks which is a dancehall UK artist.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to even think about, to mention it. Like, man, I was doing all this like stuff from people all over the world, and without even thinking about it, I just liked the idea. I liked the way it sounded. But definitely want to do another version. That's kind of where I'm at now. Like, with the last EP I did, Soundboy, I was like, you know what? I need to go back to where I first released my first records in my bedroom. Like, that's when I had the most creativity. So basically, this EP is basically what that is. I want to go back to my first bedroom producer days and try to dig that creativity up, put out what people expect from me, what people want, put out music for that people fell in love with me at first. You know, they really like the heavy dancehall influence. So, you know, having my first EP back after a while, I said, I'm going to do this vibe, and definitely want to do another track where I fuse some South Asian vibe with, you know, maybe Afrobeat or something. I want to do some, you know, in that lane. Rima's actually doing something crazy. You know, a lot of people are saying he has like a very big, like South Asian influence in his voice. I think he's killing it. Maybe do some. Actually, we have a record coming out, Major Lazer and Rima. It's actually crazy.
Wow. Yeah, Rima's big. Yeah, one of the biggest Afrobeat artists, at least, you know, here in the UK, making a lot of noise. You know, his last 2 singles were incredible. Yeah.
100%. I feel like it's a lot of people are kind of trying to just mix everything. Hopefully it doesn't get so crazy where it's like, you know, you can't pick out what's what anymore. But I enjoy the idea of that. And Rima's doing a good job. Like he's in his own lane. I don't think he's trying to like do something he's not. But we got a record coming on Rima that's crazy, man. Trust me.
You guys are always so on the ball with just picking the artists who are like just coming up. You know, that they're not quite peaked yet, but they're just about that. You guys pick your artists and the timing of it so perfectly. Like I remember years ago when Anitta was making a lot of noise in Brazil, and you know, just like that, you know, you guys released a song with Anitta, and I'm like, damn, that's just perfect timing because everyone's talking about her. So yeah, you guys have definitely got your finger on the pulse with everything that's happening across the world. So yeah, always impressive.
Always.
Yeah, definitely. It's fantastic to hear. And thanks for giving us that sort of a little teaser, you know, Major Lazer Rima. That's going to be, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, it's be crazy.
I can tell by the look on your face, it's going to be a hot one.
Be crazy.
Wow. So the final thing we're going to do for our interview is our traditional quick fire round on United Colors. Just before we finish off the interview, we're just going to ask you a few quick questions just for fun in succession, and you have to say the first thing that comes into your head. So, APE Drums, are you ready for a quick fire round on United Colors?
Let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. Favorite food?
Chicken.
Favorite drink whilst partying?
Tequila soda.
Favorite drink whilst DJing?
Tequila soda.
Who would you want to collaborate with the most? DJ Snake or David Guetta?
Probably David Guetta.
What's your most embarrassing moment with Major Lazer so far?
Oh man, I think midway through a show, I like messed up DJing one of the first few shows, and the music just stopped for like 2 seconds. That was probably the most embarrassing.
Oh, okay. Oh, it happens to the best of us. And then what's been your most memorable moment with Major Lazer so far?
Honestly, every show is memorable. Like even still to this day, I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm touring with these guys, with this band, like doing these shows, these stages. Like I would have never, I don't think I would have ever did this if it was just me, man. So every show, every moment we do together, it's super memorable.
Cool. And finally, what would you say is your dream gig?
My dream gig. Honestly, my dream gig would be to throw my own festival. And it's not really a gig, I guess I would play, but it's just throw my own festival, my own lineup, and have a huge fan base following it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my dream gig.
Yeah, that's a great answer, actually, because most people who say that, they answer either Coachella or Tomorrowland, but, you know, you actually say you want to run your own festival. So that's a good answer. I like that one. Cool. Awesome. So I've got 2 quick questions here from some of our listeners. They just sent this through this afternoon. Actually, they sent quite a few, but I'm just going to pick 2 of the ones which I think will be quite good. So the first one is, do you ever record real musicians playing instruments for your tracks, particularly for drums?
I haven't yet, but I really, really want to. I already got a couple contacts of guys who are like percussionists and drummers. But I just have to set a date to go to the studio and just record everything. But I definitely want to do that. I haven't yet, though.
Okay, cool. And the second one and final one is a question from one of our listeners in Canada. He asks, this is a good one, how do you handle nerves when performing on the big stage?
I mean, you just kind of, I don't know. And you know what's crazy about that is that I get more nervous for smaller parties, like small parties, rather than big stages. As far as like Major Lazer, like when it's a big Major Lazer show, it's not all eyes on us because we have a big stage, we have dancers, we have visuals. So it's not all eyes on me. My nerves don't really go crazy. I'm more comfortable when it's like a small party, whether it's just me or me and the guys, like that's when I get the most nervous because there's people are there in your face. You have to DJ well. You have to play the best songs.
Yeah.
So usually if it's in that case, I'll have a drink and I'll feel more relaxed.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense actually. If you're doing a smaller event where you're on your own, just DJing, then that can be more nerve-wracking, I suppose, on a stage where there's so much more things going on, the lights and the special effects, and also with Major Lazer, you've got two other people and dancers to kind of, to cover the stage, cover the show. Yeah. So, okay, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah. Well, that was awesome, man. So, APE Drums, thank you so much for being here with us on United Colors. You dropped some gems. You gave us some great insight. All the best with everything that you're doing in your music production, your shows, everything you're doing with Major Lazer. We really appreciate you being on our show, United Colors. Thank you. And just before you go, as is customary, please do tell our listeners where they can find you, catch you on your socials, your website, everything else. Go for it.
Yeah, you can find me at APE Drums anywhere on my socials, apedrums.com as well for my shows, the Major Lazer shows, videos, content, whatever. But yeah, big shout out to Rukus Avenue Radio. I appreciate you guys.
There you had it. APE Drums here on United Colors.